What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the vlog. It's DR Weedman and Germ here, and this is 710 Performance. Guess what? We're going to show you our step-by-step process on how we powder coat with these rotiforms right here. So first off, we need some protective gear because this is going in the chemical stripper. So we've got this rotiform wheel here, and it is an aluminum wheel, so it cannot go in the rim strip for too long of a time. It's recommended no more than 2 hours, but we're gonna make sure that we check this every 10 to 15 minutes because we're gonna go ahead and set an alarm for it. So what we do, the first thing is we come on over, we suit up, we've got our chemical gloves, we've got protective eye gear. We do have a apron that we are going to be having on the way that will cover everything. We do suggest that you got one. We also have a mask. It needs new filters, so it's more of an issue now than it is help, but the problem is we can't get any new filters or anything at this point in time. We check back regularly, so we make sure that we got them, but make sure you have a mask. You want to be very slow when working with this. So we pop the top, and we are going to go ahead and set this down in here very slowly. I like to go at an angle so there's no slops and sloshes.
Covers the whole rim.
Yep, then we go over to our newly mixed batch of TSP, still nice and warm.
Wash your gloves off.
Make sure you wash the gloves off so you don't recontaminate anything. And we mix the TSP per what it says, the directions on the box. Plus we add an extra cup, and we also put in a cup of baking soda when we have it, but we're out. So I've got the lid, gonna put it right back on, the rim strip, and let that wheel soak. Now it's time to go ahead and set a timer for 12 minutes. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this. We probably are going to have to flip it back over. It is pretty cold today, and if it's cold, it doesn't seem to work as well. Got a lot of it off.
They'll come off with water and the pressure washer.
I can see there's a lot that's not curled up though, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn this over.
Let it sit a little bit longer.
Yep, set an alarm for another 12 minutes. So we're hooking up the power washer, getting it started so it's nice and warmed up. That way when we pull this wheel out, we can go ahead and wash it off. First we'll go into TSP. So power wash this off and see if we gotta soak it again. What's up, everybody? We're back, 710 Performance Vlog. We're doing our step-by-step powder coating process. We're showing you what we do in our process. So yesterday we left off with taking it out of rim strip and power washing it. Next thing that we do after we power wash it and it dries off, we go ahead and we media blast it. Now we media blast it outside, so all the media that we use, we do not reuse, so it's clean media all the time. With it being clean media, what we like to do is we like to blast it, then we blow it off very good, then we go to the outgassing stage. If we need to go to the outgassing stage, steel wheels, you don't have to necessarily outgas, but with these aluminum wheels, we'll outgas them. So the next stage will be outgassing, and then we'll go from there to our powder coat because it's still a nice clean surface unless the outgassing brings some oil to the surface. So right now, we're gonna go ahead and blast this. We do have a special little screen for the GoPro. Remember, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, smash the subscribe button right down here and go ahead and turn on post notifications so you don't miss a video. Okay, so first we're gonna go ahead and clean off and just lightly blast these hooks. We had them in stripper, and we're gonna go ahead and just clean off the little surface rust off of it. So I don't know if we got footage of them going into the oven. We do have those two that have been out of the oven cooling. We do have these two that are still in the oven that are cooling down. It's been turned off for a little while now. So after we outgas them, we set our oven, we set it at 375 and do it for about 30 minutes, 35 minutes. Then we inspect it, we're blowing it off. We're looking for any white lumps or anything that would be oil that has come up or grease that has come up. These look really good, they're in really good condition, so we blow them off. Now that they're blown off, we're gonna go ahead and tape them off, tape the backs of them. That way everything's taken care of with them. And we might tape inside those holes as well. We're gonna go ahead and get this going. Okay, so now we've got them blown off. Now we're gonna go ahead and tape the back. A little trick I like to use is I like to take the heat gun and get the back of it kind of warm, stick the tape on there, and cut the edges and then kind of seal it down. I would do them sometimes after they outgas, but I'd end up touching them when they're too hot, burning myself. All of that stuff, so. And it doesn't need to be super, super hot. Just get it nice and warm so the tape will stick. Make sure you got your tape and your knife with you. Like a quarter of an inch. I'm sorry if I don't have the best angle. Jeremy's running to get media right now, so I don't have his hand to be able to help with the video. Now I'll add a little bit of heat to it. I usually turn it on low, and I don't have a proper squeegee, but the back of this knife is rounded, so I usually use it to press it down and kind of act like a squeegee. And I can see where it's pressing down. Started from the bottom. Now we're getting there. Okay. Sharp blade. Trim it off real nice. Big enough plug, so let me show you getting the foil on it. So we like to use these pre-cut pieces. Basically get enough in there, form a lip around the edge. Sometimes we'll place one in there and then get another. That way we don't get in the center there where the hub rings go. Just enough to block it off. Then I'll go ahead and take the others. We'll get ready to powder coat. So we powder coat using the Eastwood Elite Hot Coat PCS 1000. We love using the 2-pound hopper as opposed to the 5-pound hopper, which we do have 2 of those. Those are fluidizing. These are non-fluidizing hoppers. So we're gonna go ahead and just load this on up or fill this on up. I have 2 pounds of powder here. I believe it might take 3 pounds of powder to do this job. So we'll check and see. I don't know for sure. I do have an extra pound that was ordered because we already had this in stock. I do have an extra pound that I ordered and it shipped out today. This is bronze chrome from Prismatic Powders. So we're gonna go ahead, it's 2 pounds, so it should fit all 2 in there, but I don't like filling it all the way up. So I'll probably put about 1.5 in there. Sorry, I messed this up. But I just pour the powder in like this. I see that it's about 3/4 of the way up, maybe a little bit more. This powder is a waste, so it's filled up just about 3/4 of the way. And then I have the lid for it. So on the back of the machine, there is this air hose that is for the air gun. I just put that in here because it's the air gun supply. Then this hose goes to the back of the gun. Comes up here and goes to the back of the gun. Now I'm going to put the round tip on this. I have the oven heated up. Since this is the first time doing this color and we're doing it on a larger project, I'm actually gonna do one wheel completely to see how it turns out. I wanna make sure I get good coverage, all of that good stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and focus on this one wheel right now. What I do like to do with the system, with the Eastwood system, is once it is turned on, I always like to turn the gun air all the way down, the fluidizing air is all the way down and it's locked. I like to turn the gun air all the way down, and that way when I'm ready to go, I'll pull the trigger and I'll turn it up so I get the right air flow right away off the get. Sometimes I've had close to empty powder, so I've had it turned up higher and then I put new powder in and go and spray it, and I just get a ton of powder everywhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the gun set up. Basically, let's show you how I do that. I'm gonna make sure that this is still blowing off any extra dust off end I'm using. On the Eastwood gun, you just pop this on, and it's got this little cover you put over it. Machine is on. I should have done that off. I'm probably going to want the K-dubs down to about 2K for those smaller areas to start. And then what I'll do is I'll hold this to the side or down, and I pull the trigger and see nothing's coming out. I do this. Okay, there we go. We're starting to get some. There we go. Now I'm getting the spray I want. So now we got it with the spray that we want. Move this in the center here. If possible, I like to clip on to the project. So for wheels, I'll clip on the back. That way I can get the front started and get all this hard to reach stuff. Make sure that looks good. Make sure you guys are set up at a good angle. I know it's just the GoPro, so we don't get to have the ability to zoom in, but if editing, I'm able to get it to zoom in where I can zoom in and show good video, we'll do that. And if I can, I'll zoom in and show you guys what's up as well. I'm gonna double check that the oven is where it's supposed to be. 400 degrees. I do like to actually take my clip and hook it up here if possible, so when turning it's not necessarily touching it. I am going to be getting a bigger ground. I'm going to use a jumper cable and a really long one, so I have a big clip. Sorry, I'm not perfect at these step-by-step videos, but we've got our oven set to 410. I'm letting it heat pretty much up to there. There's less than 100 degrees. I know that by the time I finish powder coating this, that it is going to be up to temp. So I like to make sure that the oven is up to temp when we go ahead and put a piece in there. So I have that set and running up to temp while we're getting ready to powder coat this. Okay, so just like most pieces, you want to start in the hard to reach places, which on wheels are like the lugs. Ooh, I like the way that lays on. Okay, I think that's going to be good with a little bit higher kV. I did get a little bit much right there, so I'll just blow it off. So if I get a little much, I just turn it up, blow it off. I am going to turn the air down some. Turn the air all the way down. There we go. Okay. I really like the way this lays down. We do want to keep the kV about 25 doing these little holes. I'll make sure we get them good from the back too. So you want to hit those hard to reach areas first. Hitting it lightly till I get those spots. We have lots of new equipment and better equipment we want to get, guys. We understand that we need to, that it'll make things easier. We got all in those holes, which you're gonna double check from the back, but they all look good. We got all in there, it looks good. So now we're gonna get all up in these crevices. Found if you don't just hold the trigger, if you tap it, it works with this Eastwood gun. Let's do the top before we do the bottom. That way anything extra that collects down there, there's not a whole bunch. I do like how this lays down. I've also noticed with the Eastwood gun, a lot of times the farther away you are, the better it helps. And make sure you get it real good. And then we're just gonna turn this to the back here. I'll move this clip. We're gonna get in here real good. Yes, I usually have a mask on, guys. I'm sorry. Our mask is broke. We cannot find any more. We're working on getting one ordered online. And then I'll do the back part. We don't always do the full barrel. Like on these wheels, because of the weight and how our oven sits, we might have to touch the middle of the barrel on the bottom. And we let the customers know that. It's the barrel, it's where the tire is. Most of them don't trip. Actually, we haven't had anyone say that we couldn't do it. So that looks very good. It's looking very good. Now to do this back area. But to me, that looks pretty good. Just make sure we got all in there real good. Make sure we got all those real good. Wow, that looks really good. I do need to move this clip up to here. And we are good to go. The oven is to temp, and this looks great. I really like the way this powder lays on. Into the oven we go. It goes in for 12 minutes at 400 degrees. It's got to get to temp, and these wheels take about 7 to 10 minutes to get to temp, so I'm going to go ahead and set a timer for about 8 minutes. Then I'm going to check it just to see if it's at temp and if it's flowed out. I'm going to work on prepping these other wheels. That laid on really nice. Okay guys, so it has been 7 minutes is what I believe I set the timer for. 8 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and check the temp. I don't want to bring it too... Oh wow, that really looks good. So it did flow out in most of the areas. And that looks really good. Temp is 298, so it still needs to get a bit warmer. So I'm gonna go ahead and set the timer for another 4 minutes or so. Whatever powder you're using, you wanna go to the application page to see what temperature it needs to be at and to see temperature and for how long. So that is very, very important. Make sure that you do that. With prismatic powders, you just click on the color, especially on your phone, it's right up near the top. So right before I go to put the powder on, I double check what it needs to be while I'm setting the oven up. So I hope that helps out. Okay guys, it's been another 5 minutes. This time I have the light set up so you can actually see how the color's turning out if I'm not in the way. Looking very nice. Looks like it's all flowed out real well. 315, so we know that it's going to take approximately another 4 to 5 minutes to get to temp. So we'll add 5 minutes to the 12 minutes it's supposed to be in there and set a timer for 17 minutes. We're also going to turn the oven down from 410 to 405. All right, what's up everybody? The timer just went off, so it is done. We went ahead and turned the oven off. We're gonna let this open and cool down for a little bit before we pull it out of here. Wow, that looks really good.
Oh wow. All right, I gotta take the GoPro off. Ooh, it has sparkle in it. I didn't know that. That's sick.
Yeah, that's pretty cool color.
All right, so it's pulling the foil out while it's still warm, so it's easy.
Just that main piece. So
yeah.
It's not touching the edges or anything.
Otherwise, it'll harden with the powder coat. Now we're just gonna let it sit. So this is the final results. Came out pretty good. He did a pretty good job.